Life is beautiful, you are beautiful. Life is beautiful, we are beautiful too.
How do you guys feel?
Relaxed.
Relaxed? Good. Good. What else? Was it difficult for anyone?
At the start, for sure.
Yeah? What'd you notice about your...
Just kind of like your mind's racing as soon as you close your eyes, because first off, it's something that you probably don't normally do.
Right.
And then you just have a lot of thoughts inside your mind because you have time to yourself.
Right.
And then kind of start to drift away and just kind of focus on a couple of things and then nothing.
Right. So this, what we just did, what you guys just experienced is something that I did, not necessarily sitting with my eyes closed, but just sitting in my room, in my stall, running through the first 3 or 4 shifts of my game. Before every game. Visualizing it. There was a study done, you guys have probably heard about it, 25 free throws. They gave a ball to a kid, he shot the free throws. The other kid stood on the line and thought about sinking them. Visualized it. Which kid do you think made more buckets when they gave them 25 each and then they shot? Right? Visualizing it. The flow state that I was talking about, the reason that guys have a problem when they're done playing sports, professional sports, not just this sport, is because there's 5 chemicals that are present at the same time in your brain that allows you to singularly focus on doing the task at hand. Those are no longer there anymore. I was waking up to a screaming baby and a new wife, you know? So we have to be able to bring our minds to a point where those chemicals can be present again. And through meditation, that can happen. Through meditation, you can build new neurological pathways. Through meditation, you can be more creative. Through meditation, you can become a better athlete. Through this visualization practice, bringing it home after a game. How do you guys get down after a game? You know, drink alcohol?
Every Sunday.
Yeah? I mean, it's a pretty common thing. You know, alcohol is a depressant, right? You guys smoke? No? Good. There's tools, right? These are all just tools. The stuff that I talk about, like meditation, visualization, diet, super important. 90%, 80 to 90% of our serotonin receptors are in our stomach. So dopamine and serotonin are the 2 happy chemicals that are present. Some receptors are in your brain. Serotonin, 80 to 90% in your stomach. So people wonder, oh, why do I feel like shit this morning? Did you check what you ate? Do you have processed foods? Do you eat organic? Plant-based, vegetables, red meats? Like, watch it, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger was the strongest man in the world by using a plant-based diet. So if you guys are interested in that, then research it. That's the next thing. Like that's one of these talks is, or all of these talks are really about, is to empower you guys to go out and research different ways that you guys can get an edge. And if you start implementing some of those, you'll start dealing with the stressors that are inherently involved in this sport. It's not easy to do what you guys are doing at this level. So you need tools to be able to manage it, right? Other tools I use, yoga, self-deprivation tanks. You guys ever heard of those? Right? So that's like meditation. When you close your eyes, the reason it was difficult first, because if you've never done it, just look around. Look, we have all of this stimulation. When you guys get on the ice, you accept a pass from across the ice on your backhand. You're getting your head up. There's no out of bounds. You're looking, you're watching who's going at what speed. You might fucking sauce it behind a defenseman or try to beat him one-on-one. You try to beat him one-on-one. Well, then now you got the goalie and you're looking, you got your head up and the puck's on your stick and then you're releasing, you're faking, you're going. A lot of shit happening, right? So how do we stop that? How do we give our brain a rest? You know? And then once you start learning how to give your brain a rest, well then, if you're in school, or you're in front of your girlfriend, or whatever it may be that stresses you out, talking to your parents, then you can take a breath before you go into that situation. Yesterday, we talked to the Canadian Armed Forces, and I woke up and my mind was everywhere. It's not good for a speech. So what I did was I stood in front of them and I took, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes of just deep breathing. I told them I needed to do it. Or else you're not going to get the best version of myself. So I did it. I don't care what people think about me, standing up there, breathing, you know? Could care less. So I have supreme confidence in myself, in what I'm doing, in where I'm going. I want you guys to have that too. When you start understanding yourself, you start understanding the way your mind works, because it's individualized, then you get this relationship with yourself. I bet you guys haven't delved too deep into the relationship with yourself, right? When you go to bed at night, man, it's just you. Right? Get more comfortable with yourself. You'll become a better athlete, man, I'm telling you guys. You'll become a better person. Life won't be as difficult, you know? You won't be forcing anything. When you're not forcing anything, then you're in that flow state. You ever have those games where like the puck's just right on your stick, or you seem to be in the right spot at the right time? Because you're not overthinking. You're in that flow state. You can see things and it's slowly moving. It's like what Patrick Kane sees, you know, every game. Everything slows down for him. Because he's so rooted in that state, you know? That's how we have to play the game. You guys know how it is when you're clinching your stick and nothing goes right, right? So these are one of the tools. These are some of the tools that I've used to my advantage. I used it in my career, 25 to 30. I use it outside of my career, you know? I want you guys to have these tools. I don't know if it's talked about enough in this community, you know? I'm gonna shut up now and turn it over to you guys. You guys have any questions, comments? Feel free to ask me anything. It can be about anything. And then we'll go from there. There's gotta be one. There's gotta be one. There we go. Kick it off.
Well, first off, I just want to say, like, really respect what you said and how you, like, all you've been through. I had watched you play before, and I just kind of thought you were like a crazy hothead. I know. I have gained a lot of respect, and really, like, I'm glad to see this other side of you. But I'm just wondering, just out of curiosity, like, you've been through like hell and back. It seems like to get to a Stanley Cup. Would you do it again, or like what was, you know, like all that the game has done to you and all that you've been through? Would you do it again, or would you rather take like a lesser route and not win a Stanley Cup?
If I had a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd do it again. Because again, I told you guys, like, I am so fucking happy with the person that I am today. And I had to go through all of that to get to here. You know? So I don't regret any of it, man. I have remorse for people for what I did to them. But I mean, I was a trained assassin. Like I said, I was fucking good at it. You know, you want to put those skates on, you want to go on that rink. It's not real life. There's different rules. And I knew how to get you. You know, and what you guys just heard, it's because people got me. You know, I was just using it as an emotional release. But it can be fun too. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I met my wife. I've got 3 beautiful children because of hockey. I've got friends, my best friends because of hockey, you know? But it's not solely because of hockey, right? I think that's where we get it mixed up. We view this thing as religion, and we view it as giving me everything. Fuck that. I gave myself everything. I went to the gym for 3 hours. I skipped golfing because I couldn't walk, because I worked out so hard. I did all that, right? So like, take your power back. Like, you guys are amazing. Hockey players are amazing people. Amazing people. You guys can use the skills that you learn playing hockey to do anything you want. Anything. Anything. Right? It's not just this singular thing, right? But if you want that, fucking right, then go get it. Put the time in, put the work in, and you are gonna suffer. This sport, there's no way around it. You're gonna suffer. But don't treat your teammates like shit because it gets a laugh, you know? I was guilty of it. I ain't no saint. Just don't, you know, you guys just work together, man, you know? You know, you guys work together, the more connected you are, the further you'll go, guarantee it. It's like all the teams that I was on, man. When we won, we really liked each other. We cared for each other because we fucking talked to each other. We hung out with each other. We cared, you know? Yeah.
You kind of mentioned there about like throughout your Stanley Cup runs and the successful teams you'd been on, what were the characteristics and qualities that they possessed?
I mean, Chicago was just like nothing I'd ever seen before, you know? I thought we had a tight-knit team in Philadelphia when we lost them in 2010, but they were, I mean, there was just this 6 or 7 guys who were just so rooted in what they were doing, and they knew how to do it, and they knew how to be successful. And if you wanted to be a part of that, you had to toe the line. You had to bring a different aspect, right? So like, for example, the aspect I brought was I made guys laugh, you know? I played the music, right? I did all the stuff that I really didn't, I fucking can't stand studying hockey, man. I'm not gonna look at where to shoot on a fucking goalie where it's highlighted, you know? But like other guys were there, like but that was their thing. And I just played on raw emotion. Figure out what makes you successful, right? Because we all don't have to go down that same path, but the one thing in common that we had was that fucking slogan, one goal. We all wanted to win. And we were willing to sacrifice to do it. You know, that's the common theme. And we liked each other, you know, even though there were like different groups of guys. There were the Finnish guys over here, and then the Swedish guys, and then the Canadian guys, and the American guys, you know. And the Russian guys, you just fucking leave them alone, but, you know, but it was cool, man. It was a cool dynamic, you know. But again, like, as soon as you're in that room, man, you're fucking lacing up those skates. It's just, the music shuts off, boom. Ain't no fucking joking around here now. You could die out there, you know? Yeah, we took it very, very seriously, yeah. Yep.
Can you maybe just touch on asking for help? How hard it was asking for help, and how many great people there are out there to help you, but once you get past that point where you can ask for help?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I was in a little bit of an extreme case, but I was close to death. I was extremely close to dying with my lifestyle, and enough people had told me, and I shoot them away enough times. But what happened, usually there's this aha moment that happens, and what happened was, for me, I didn't have a contract. I was pretty much out of the league. I was only 25. Hadn't worked out for 2 months, you know, and I was done in April, and I just saw, I had this revelation one day when I woke up in a pile of my own sweat. I thought to myself, what the fuck am I doing? And I was totally lost, you know? And the only thing I could do was fucking ask somebody to help me. It gotten to that point. Because I didn't want to die. And I didn't want my relationships with my brothers to be the way they were. I didn't want my relationships with my parents to be the way they were, with my teammates, with how people viewed me, you know? And so I had this outlet. We all have this outlet, by the way, right? Like you text, fucking text somebody. Write it down, write it down. You just get it out of you so it doesn't create the guilt and the shame. Because it's not 1 in 5, man. It's 5 in 5. We all deal with stress, right? We all deal with stressors that cause anxiety and depression. The more you put it off, the worse it gets. As soon as you say something and you communicate that something's wrong, It's like this fucking piano off your back. Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champion of the world, just came out and was talking about this exact thing on a show, this mental illness, how he wanted to kill himself. He's the heavyweight champ of the world, and he's making a plan. And what helped him, right? It's this image that we have, that he had of his family. You don't talk about it, you're weak, right? It couldn't be further from the truth. Talking about it makes you fucking strong, man. It makes you better. It alleviates guilt, shame, anxiety. Then you can focus more on things that you want, like this fucking team, and this team being successful. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better athlete. Your mother, your father, a teammate. Don't go up to somebody when they've had 3 cups of coffee and be like, hey man, is something wrong? Catch them after a workout. Catch them after a bag skate, when their guard's down. Just be good friends, man, you know? Hey, I know that usually you're pretty happy, man. Like, I haven't seen you fucking laugh, cracking jokes in a while. What's going on? Everything all right? You know? Just care for each other, man. You guys do that on the rink. I know you guys do that. You see somebody get blindsided or hurt, or what do? Fucking right. So just do it off the ice too, and you'll be better on the ice. And life won't be that hard, man, I'm telling you. It'll start being fucking, you'll just flow through it, man. I've got like fucking 16 things I've got on the go now. All different things, you know, creating a vision training program for hockey players, make you guys better athletes, hand-eye coordination, peripheral vision. I'm on the board of Decriminalize Nature, national board. I'm a father of 3. I've got my own supplement line coming out to help better protect kids like you. Neuroprotectants. Coming out with that in the next month. Creating 3 other ventures that I'm doing. Initiating clinical trials for TBI in another country. Going to be cultivating in 3 different countries. 9 months ago, I was sleeping in till 3 p.m. You know? So, and then, 9 months ago, what I did was I made this decision to check my blood with an endocrinologist. And I saw that I had the free testosterone of a 70-year-old male, which explained my depression, anxiety, my brain fog, my fatigue, stress cortisol, the stress hormone cortisol was 3 times that as much as a 34-year-old healthy male. And then I just went on all natural, non-statin supplements to get better, you know? CBD and mushrooms. CBD was 0% THC, and then lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, chaga, agarikon, turkey tail, increased BDNF. This is stuff that you guys can get at Whole Foods or your local grocery store or Paul Stamets' website. BDNF is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And it helps to build these new pathways that I talk about, right? Helps to solidify that visualization. You guys are definitely damaged at this age. I don't want to scare anybody in here, but for sure. So start looking for supplements and supplementation, eat omega-3s, hydrate the brain, right? Protect the brain, do the vision training, increase peripheral vision, protect yourselves. Protecting yourself, and then you'll make yourself a better athlete. It goes hand in hand, right? Yeah, I mean, meeting a kid like this, and usually I'd tell him to go fuck his hat. You know, I wouldn't want to do something like this when I was sick. No chance. You know, I would think that he's out to get me. You know, and then we've gone from fucking Guelph to Ottawa. Done what, like 20 dates? You know? Off an idea. You know? So I mean, man, you guys are high operating individuals, even at this age. You can do anything you want, man. You know? Work ethic, creativeness. You guys are high operating individuals, man. So know that about yourselves, right? Definitely know that. high confidence, bordering on arrogance, but high confidence, you know? Yep.
Just listening to everything being said here, I just don't know if younger guys have any idea how much benefit it is to be, you know, have someone like you come in here, speak to it, you know, to take away the veil of secrecy and understand, you know, what's going on in people's minds and the impact, because I'm not to say I'm older than everyone in this room, but the point is, you know, in my generation growing up, there was no sympathy for people that, you know, did not, you know, quite fit the tough person mode, you know, the Irish,
Yeah.
raised as an Irish Catholic, you whined, you get slapped upside the head type of thing.
Yeah.
And there's no concept of, you know, the impact that, you know, people's words, actions, what have you, had on you. These young guys just, they gotta just be basking in the fact that there's a forum.
Yeah.
And people are actually making use of speech and social media to spread the message and make sure that you understand it's not being weak.
No.
It's nothing to do with it.
Right.
And that's the biggest message I hope these guys take from it.
Yeah.
There's no weakness in having issues.
None. I think you're weak if you don't say anything, personally. There's no shame in saying how you fucking feel, man. Whether it's good or whether you're stressed. I say it like taking a sip of milk now. There's no shame in it. I really don't know where that stigma came from, you know? Maybe the older, our parents, or I don't know. And if you don't want to say it now, that's okay. You don't want to say it in a year from now, that's fine too. You don't want to say it in 10 years, whatever. But eventually, there will come a point where you're going to suffer enough where you're going to want to tell somebody. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to go through what I went through, you know, to be able to say something. You see it, just boom, try it. Try it. What's the worst that could happen? Grab your best friend, tell him, and see how you feel. You don't like it, then you don't have to do it again.
Now that you've you know all this about mental health and how the brain works and everything, what would your schedule, if you could go back to when you were in the NHL, what would be some key things that you would do in a day now compared to how you did do it?
Well, when I was 25 to 30, I mean, I was pretty much living this lifestyle in the NHL. I went back and made amends to people that I'd, said things that I regretted and done things to them that I regretted, and then tried my best not to do that again, and gave myself this daily check-in, hourly really, when I first started out. So every hour, how I felt, Just a simple ask. I'm a little edgy, all right. No judgment, just, that's how I felt, and just watching myself, But things really changed after games, especially early on. I didn't go to the bars. Where there's smoke, there's fire, So I went home. Started reading a lot. That's where a lot of this information came from. And I started writing. I really love writing. So again, that's what it goes back to, who are you? What do you like? It's a cool sport and everything, but it's there's more, right? What makes you tick? Making playlists and, hanging out with people that I like, hanging out with girls, watching documentaries on stuff that I was interested in. Just different stuff instead of the lasers and and alcohol and sparklers and what?
They would know what his green room.
Oh, the green room, yeah. So, and that's okay too. You guys are young. You're still figuring it out, right? My sponsor told me, he's I'm like, man, I really got to give up everything, my thing's opiates. He's like, well. Yeah.
You said that, earlier on in your career, you had this mentality or this kind of idea about you that there was unpredictability.
Yeah.
As you kind of tried to begin to, translate and transfer your life and your lifestyle into something different, how did your teammates react to that?
Oh man, I got to Chicago and everybody's like, all right, where are we going tonight? I'm like, oh, I'm sober. Like, what? It's a small league, right? So that was tough, man. It was tough. Thank God I had Steve. Steve was so fucking confident in who he was as a person, you're like drawn to it, you know? It's like, fuck, how do I get some of that?
Yeah.
Show me, you know? So he showed me. But it was difficult in the beginning because it changed who I was as a player too, right? I changed who I was off the ice, and then now all of a sudden I don't want to beat the fucking wheels off of people. I had to do it. It's my job. I don't want to do it. So if you look at my fights from 20 to 25 and you look at my fights from 25 to 30, number one, they're cut in half, the amounts. Number two, like, I am not the aggressor, 25 to 30. And that hurt me. That's when I got most of my concussions, from fighting. You know? I started thinking about it too much. I started guarding myself. And really, I fucking didn't want to do it, man. I didn't want to hurt people.
I guess the other kind of part of my question is, we talked about expectations, and like, I guess when you make that transformation, everyone has these ideas of what you are and these expectations of who you are. And when you're someone that they didn't expect, maybe they're thrown off or disappointed in it. Kind of how you dealt with that?
Yeah, I guess I was at a point where I was like so happy to be something else, and doing all this work on myself, discovering who I am away from that sport. I didn't care if I didn't have the sport or not. You know, it was still difficult when I didn't have that sport. Because I was still kind of brainwashed into thinking that, you know, it was family and this is the community that I need, and I'm not going to be I need to get a job in hockey because, well, fuck, that's what everybody does, right? Like, that's the only thing I know how to do, you know? But I started gaining this confidence, and I think people saw me change, my family in particular, and they're like, shit, we like this person, you know? And it kind of changed the game as far as, and I was successful. I started being successful and won a cup, and just, I don't know. I think when that stuff starts to happen, it becomes less and less important, you know, the other stuff. Like, I don't know, it's like I wake up every day, man, it's like the best fucking day ever, you know? Like, I'm so excited to not be like just rigid, you know, but it was like that with hockey too. Like, I would really be excited to go to the rink because every day is a new fucking day. And I love that aspect of hockey because it's different than life. Because if you fuck up in life, it might take a couple weeks to get back, you know, what you lost. You do that in hockey, well, you play on a Tuesday, we play on a Thursday. No big deal, fucking get it back. Fuck up one shift, you got a next shift in a minute and a half, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, when you talk about your parents being hard on you and disciplining you, I know a lot of people, including myself, have tough parents, and so I have my ways to cope with the way they discipline and stuff, and I was just wondering, well, what did you do? Because at certain points where I once, like, I didn't flip out, but I did something I never did, and from that point on, it's been a lot better. It took me a very long time, and it wasn't when it happened to me, but when it happened to my little brother, that's when I, like, snapped.
Right.
So I don't know if it happened to you, but for me, I had to snap at one point to stop everything.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know what the family dynamic is in your household, but for me, old school Italian parents tried their best again, but no talking. But we had to be sitting at the dinner table at 6 p.m. every fucking night. Nobody communicated, you know? And so there was this rigidity of thought that they had these expectations of who I needed to be and what I needed to do. And mine was similar, you know? Like, when I moved away from home, I fucking ran. You know, I was like, see you later. You're not gonna see me again, you know? Like, just finally free, you know? You could be who you want, you know? But there was a moment where I snapped on my mom in particular. When I was, I think I was 14, you know? And she never laid a hand on me again. Sometimes it gets to that, you know? Hopefully it doesn't have to get to that. I think as parents, I'm a parent, and like if my son were to come up to me and say, Dad, you know, like the way you talk to me really fucking affects me, and it makes me really sad, I'd be like, I'd be fucking crushed, man. You know, I'd be crushed. Because as parents, no matter what you think right now, all we want is for you guys to feel safe, loved, and secure. You know, no matter, but sometimes parents are dealing with their own shit. Sometimes coaches are dealing with their own stuff that they haven't figured out yet, so they pass that trauma onto you guys. You know? But like, I always feel like if you look somebody in the eye and you tell them exactly how you feel, that cuts deeper than any fuck you or any vitriol, you know? Yeah, that would crush me, man, if my son at like, you know, at your age would say something like that to me. It'd be a big wake-up call. You're a good big brother, though. Yeah, yeah.
What's your advice for, like, in life, like, not everyone sees it this way, and a lot of times you're underneath someone like that, or you're working for someone that's like that. What's your advice for, like, being able to, like, stay positive and keep having confidence in an environment where it's not that easy to come by?
Yeah, I think that relation, it goes back to that relationship with ourselves and that self-confidence and understanding that you're not going to let anybody rob you of your peace. You know, again, like you build up that self-worth by building up that relationship with yourself, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, like, it's on us. You know, everybody looks at this sport as a team sport. It's a team sport when you get on the ice. It's on us to be prepared to do my role within the team. It always goes back to you. Anytime you go to bed, you're going to bed by yourself, man, even if you're lying next to somebody. Can you lay your head on the pillow? You know? And my dad had a saying, in one ear, out the other. You know, sometimes when my mom would be yelling and shit. So, and I mean, sometimes I do that, you know, but because I have this really strong relationship with myself now, when I see myself in these situations, like, for example, with my wife, we argue, life still happens, but now I'm like, I become like the observer, and I see myself, I feel myself start getting riled up, you know, the anger usually starts from my belly and comes up, and I'm just like, you know, in my head, I'm just like, all right, she's saying this to get you triggered. Right? So if you don't show emotion, she doesn't win, right? It's like trolls on the internet, same thing. All they want for you to do is answer them. You don't answer them, they haven't done shit. Right? So again, it goes back to that relationship with ourselves, you know, and just, again, every single one of you guys are amazing individuals, right? You guys are. When you look in the mirror, you got to feel that, you know? And you got to bring that into every situation, in every game, every practice, any conversations, anything. And the more connected you are to that, the easier it'll be to like, oh, wait a minute, you know? I don't want to go down that road. And then the easier it'll be to nod your head, but it goes in one ear and out the other, and you're unaffected, and that's it. Yeah, it's 25, I got this card. Do not let anybody rob you of your peace. You get to distinguish that, right? You get to decide that, how badly you want their words to affect you. Only you. So it's your fucking fault, right? Again, right back to me. Always. Always. Yeah.
What kind of qualities would your ideal teammate or friend have?
I think the biggest thing is just like communication, you know, positivity. One of the things that we didn't talk about is like a self-narrative too, you know? But as a teammate, honestly, man, you just want to communicate and be supportive. That's it, you know? And if a guy, there's different ways to motivate too. If you know that a guy likes to fucking get, you know, a little yelled at and riled up, then that's okay, you know? That's how he likes to get motivated. That's kind of on like a coach and a teammate to figure out how these guys, some guys don't like to get yelled at all. Fucking communicate with them, right? Look them in the eye. Talk to them. Because when you do this, then you feel good. Like you feel like I'm like talking right to you, right to your soul, right? There's an exercise, I won't do it with you guys here today, but stand in front of each other. You pick a teammate, and look into his eyes for 5 minutes. Just stare into his fucking eyes, man. And you'll get more connected, man. You'll see yourself in that person, you know? Fuck, that'd be a funny exercise for a hockey team. You know? But yeah, the self-narrative and the self-talk is really important too, you know? Like how you motivate yourself. Do you negatively motivate yourself or do you positively motivate yourself? Because for me, I used to call myself a fucking loser all the time. And only 7 months ago it changed. You know, I was farming 750 CBD plants in America, and I walked out, never popped a seed in my life. And I'm like, oh, fuck, good job, man. I was like, what the fuck, where'd that come from? Usually I'd say, well, why the fuck aren't they a foot taller, Dan? You know? No, you could have been out here at 6 a.m. instead of 6:30, you know? So like how we talk to ourselves is really important because the brain doesn't distinguish between an event actually happening that we enjoy or us thinking about that event. Does that make sense to you guys? That means that if you like hockey and you love just fucking ripping down the left wing and shooting, you know, low glove or high glove or whatever, and you think about that, you experience that, or you think about that and it makes you happy, serotonin and dopamine, the happy chemicals are present, no matter what. So it's my belief that when you're negatively drilling yourself all the time with these desires and expectations that we all fall short of, and even if we achieve it, what do? We make a fuck another one. So if we positively reinforce the way that we talk to ourselves, then that it circumvents that. It circumvents that lull. And we can have more energy, man. You'll have more energy, I guarantee it. You'll have more energy to put towards everything. You guys got anything else?
Are you on a plant-based diet?
It's like, I wouldn't say plant-based. Like, so for me, it might be hard for you guys. I don't know if I've heard anybody doing it while they're playing. Intermittent fasting. So it switches my body from operating off of glucose to ketosis. 16 hours I don't eat, 8 hours I eat, 12 to 8. Might be tough for you guys, but that's something that I do. I try to eat fish. Like, I don't think I've had red meat in, I don't know, 2 months? I just started doing this after my ayahuasca trip in Peru. But
How's that?
How you feel?
oh, it was amazing.
Eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, most profound experience of my life, for sure. My biggest fear was my fear of death. And so I basically got confronted like with my grandparents, Steve, Ray, was able to talk to them all and just really get an understanding, this overwhelming feeling of unconditional love. And that we're all one, you know, we think that we end at our fingertips. It doesn't happen. There's reasons why you can't spit on the sky. You know, there's reasons why I can touch my fingertips with my thumb, but I can't touch my fingertips with all these fingers. This is the kind of stuff that really starts to get you thinking, and this is the stuff that connects us more. We all want to be happy, right? We can all agree with that, and free from suffering. We all have that in common, at least. We'd all die if we stayed in this room for over 14 days without water. We got that in common too, right? It's not your God or my God that's going to come down here and save me. My wife gave birth. I impregnated her. Right? Is that not God? You know, I don't know. To me it is. I see it in you, 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 all of you. Super fucking special, man. Cherish this life, you know? And don't follow people, you know? Life is your guru. Fuck, it was mine. You know, it'll be yours too. Just be aware. Just be aware of what you do. Everything that you do, everything you say, you guys will be all right. Better than all right. Because there's not that many people living that way, right? Not that many people living that way. I want to come watch you guys play now, fucking jacked up. Yeah.
I always make this joke with my kids, teenage plus, and just always pick on them and say, your generation is the worst of all things.
Yeah.
They go, what do you mean it's the worst? But it's just like this instantaneous sort of gratification type of environment where, the social media, someone does something, my age, someone did something at a party or whatever, you never know about it unless you're there.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's on social media and these guys are worried about, social media feeds and school looking at it's just ridiculous the power it has, the instantaneous gratification power. But it's also it almost, to me, just being a lot older, it almost makes them seem that everything is insurmountable. And it's the biggest and worst thing that's ever happened. And it's just not. Sometimes I think they're not fully able and equipped to deal with what is a setback, which could be just a hiccup, or what's a setback, which is like serious. I mean, everything seems to be at the same plane. And I don't want to say drama, so don't help me guys, but it's just everything seems to be, and like I have this with my kids, and I was like, holy Christ, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you get older.
A setback could be a setup, for sure. There's instances in my life where I thought I've failed or I didn't deserve what was happening to me, and then I went to another team and I won a Stanley Cup.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the instant gratification thing, I mean, it takes work, all of this stuff, it really does. You guys know that, You work at your craft, you get better at it, then you excel at it. It's not the Instagram life. And then these things, you just got to be really careful, man. Like Big Tobacco, when they figured out nobody was smoking, they didn't go into vaping, they went into phones. They are like the addiction fucking kings. And phones are addictive. Again, it goes to stimulation, right? For the first time, we get to close our eyes. Everything else fades away. And to his point, you have all these thoughts. Usually when our eyes are open and we're stimulated, we want to put an emotion in everything. Close your eyes. Understand that you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. And I was like, then you got so much fucking energy for the things that you actually want to put your mind to and your emotions to. And then you just excel, man. You're not distracted at all. You had a question?
Yeah, so going back to how you wake up like every day knowing that this is the best day ever. So how do you forge that mentality and sort of like stay in the present, not look for like future problems and get rid of the fog?
Gratitude list. So things I'm grateful for, not things that I'm missing. Thinking about things I'm missing or desires, those expectations, too far in the future, Just being grateful for what I got. And that's why, like, when I got to 9 months ago making this plan to end my life, like, I was like, fuck, I just couldn't figure it out why I wanted to do that. Because I had a roof over my head, somewhat financially stable, got 3 beautiful, healthy kids, got a wife who loves me, a car in the driveway. What am I doing? And I just had these destructive thought patterns that I couldn't break. So certain medicines help me break that, but for every morning, man, and every night, I work on it. I'm not gonna think, oh no, I don't have 2 cars in the driveway. No. I got 1 car. I'm happy with that. I got food on the table. I'm happy with that. I'm helping people. Happy with that. That's it. Just be grateful for what you have. And if you want something else, put the work in. If you don't put the work in and it doesn't happen for you, you can't be upset, can you? All right?
Talk about starting your day. How do you end your day in the sense that you're content with what went on throughout your day and you can go to bed resting?
Yeah, I just check. I think back to my day and I think back to my interactions, and usually if something doesn't sit well with me after a conversation, it'll drag on. And what I try to do is I try to nip that in the butt right away. Like Ryan was filming me on the way down here. I had a phone call with HBO Real Sports, Brian Gumbel. There's a few things they wanted me to do because I'm putting together this retreat for athletes. And and they wanted access and blah, blah, blah. And so what I do is, instead of me just continuing to drive after that phone call is done, I pulled over and I did that stuff, simple email, copy and paste, and then I sent, and then I started on my way. Figured that out, right? So that I'm not driving or I'm not here with you guys. I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot to do that. Then I'm not fully present, right? So just do it. Do your shit. Get it done, you know? Just get it done as quick as you can. You guys have had that for sure, you know? Like you have a bad practice or something, or you don't study for the test, or what happens? You have fucking serious anxiety. It's a lesson. Put the work in. And you've also had those times where you've, you know, had sick week of practice and you're fucking ready for you just know. You know you're gonna rip it up. And you know you're gonna smash that test. You know? You guys good? Yeah? Solid questions. Well, good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
You know, there's some exercises online that you guys could check out too about this vision stuff. You know, in a squat position, throwing balls over my head, grabbing them. You know, that's one of the things me and my trainer were doing. We didn't even know that we were training my peripherals, and we were. I never ever got blindsided, never got knocked out, rarely got hit with a punch, unless I wanted to. Yeah.
I'm a goalie, so that stuff's like huge
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Do you have like a program or?
Yeah, NeuroTracker's great.
Okay.
FitLight, the FitLight systems are great. There's eye exercises that you can do that you could check out, like through the Carrick Institute. You can go on FitLight's website too, and a lot of just hand-eye coordination, you know, overwhelming the senses, you know, getting you to do 2 or 3 things at a time is really great. Eye tracking for you, for a goalie. But yeah, that stuff's gonna come out. I'm working on that stuff for you guys, and it'll be equitable access. I believe in equitable access for fucking everybody. I'm not building a program to make it inexpensive. Like, it's just, it'll be for everybody, you know? It's the only way we protect ourselves. Strength of our neck muscles, seeing the hit coming. Those are the only 2 ways, boys. So get that through your head. Make it a priority. It'll make you a better athlete too. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right.